Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra. In Kumasi, we are live on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates dotted across Ghana's 16 regions, including Amenuveve FM in Apawu, Dreams FM in Bolgatanga, Radio Max in Takrade, and ATL FM in Cape Coast. You can go digital on Spotify and the myjoyonline.com app. In this edition, processes underway to declare seats of Dom Kwabenya and two others vacant following continuous absence from Parliament of the MP Sarah Adjoasafo, Henry Quartey, and Kennedy Ejapong.
The Court of Appeal ruled that the permission granted Speaker for a member to be absent from the proceedings of the House cannot exceed 15 days at any point in time.
And this has sparked some confusion and debate in Parliament. We hear from Minority Whip Mutaka Mubarak.
Mr. Speaker, with the greatest of respect to your office, I disagree with you vehemently when you, Mr. Speaker, want to do that yourself. Because it has to be Parliament who has to do that according to our rules.
Also, heated debate at the Supreme Court over whether Asin North MP James Chachikwesen should be stopped from performing parliamentary duties. The Attorney General says he has no business going to Parliament. I have details of that. Shocked and disappointed, the reaction of the Association of Printers and Paper Converters as it emerges that Ghana imported some $22 million worth of postage stamps from Malta in 2020.
That quantum of stamps to be printed at that amount outside Ghana is very disappointing, I think.
We have details of the country's import bill and here from the Ghana Post Company, which is denying having sanctioned that import. Also, hundreds of parents and guardians remain frustrated as they continue to struggle to place their awards a week after the placement center was opened. Also in sports.
GFA Ethics Committee member Linda Oforikofu questions Speaker of Parliament claims that FIFA is unhappy former GFA President Kwesi Nyantakyi has been banned. We have details in 20 minutes. And in today's Living Standard series, youth in Brekusu abandon farming for the Okada business and petty trading to survive harsh economic conditions.
Odi kura blue 20 cities. Nti people okra na akwara na na me den. Me dis connection no. Me opening dem ni di kura no bi nim se me di ye.
Many thanks for choosing us. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Please stay with us for details. Many thanks for staying with us. Let's head to Parliament where there's a lot of action this afternoon because the Speaker of Parliament has started processes which could lead to the removal of Dom Kwabenya MP Sarah Adjoasafo from Parliament. She's been referred to the Privileges Committee which will assess the situation and recommend appropriate sanctions to the Speaker for action. MPs for Asin North, Kennedy Ejapong and Ayawaso Central, Henry Quartey face same fate. I beg your pardon, is MP for Asin Central. That's Kennedy Ejapong. Per parliamentary rules, MPs absenting themselves from Parliament for 15 continuous sitting days without permission could be asked if the reasons for that absenteeism is not tangible. I'll take you live now to the House for more on this, but first, hear what transpired when the Speaker actually made that announcement.
In India, for example, if a member fails to attend meetings of the Lok Sabha for a period of 60 days or more without the Assembly's authorization, his or her seat may be declared vacant. Considering the fact that the 1979 and 1992 constitutions and now standing orders do not include the word consecutive in the computation of the 15 days, it is my considered view that the clear intention of the drafters of this bill is to differ from the previous computation. I admit, with all humility, that Article 97(1)(c) be read, understood, and applied as it provided for in our Constitution and standing orders without importing any word or words thereto. I have accordingly come to the irresistible conclusion that a member who absents himself or herself from 16 sitting days of Parliament in a particular meeting without the permission in writing of the Speaker is squarely within the ambit of Article 97(1)(c) of the 1992 Constitution and Order 16(1) of the Standing Orders of Parliament. I must also draw the attention of the House to a decision of the Court of Appeal dated 11 December 2008 in the case of Professor Stephen Kweku Asare versus the Attorney General and 3 others, unreported 2008, suit number H1/65/707, that is Court of Appeal. In that case, the Court of Appeal ruled that the permission granted Speaker for a member to be absent from the proceedings of the House cannot exceed 15 days at any point in time, and that it is unacceptable for Parliament to give of absence to a member for a period exceeding the 15-day threshold as envisaged under Article 97(1)(c) and the Standing Orders of Parliament.
I'll take you to Parliament now. Kwesi Parker-Wilson is our parliamentary correspondent. He joins us on the line. Parker, first off, how did this come about? It appears I've just lost Parker-Wilson there on the phone because this issue came up, and now we know that the 3 MPs have been referred to the Privileges Committee of Parliament. Processes have been kick-started by the Speaker. Well, there have been reactions of disagreement because the Asin North MP's issue also came up. We can hear from the Minority Whip disagreeing with the Speaker on some of the claims he made.
When the provisions in question do not either explicitly or impliedly rope in the High Court. This is what the Apawu Court did. So, Mr. Speaker, when the provisions in question do not either explicitly or impliedly rope in the High Court. This is what the Apawu Court did. So, Mr. Speaker, with the greatest of respect, we agree. You made a statement, but your conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the danger, colleagues, as we sit in this chamber, is this: if we allow speakers to take petition from outsiders, and so more too, with petition from outsiders, to defer members of Parliament to it, colleagues, will be doing ourselves the great service. Because we will one day get a dictator speaker who will simply take statements from outsiders and begin to penalize individual members of Parliament. It is on this basis that I call on all of us that to resist the attempt by Mr. Speaker to refer our colleagues to the privileges. And if there is justification, let us get one of us as member of Parliament who is convinced that our colleagues need to do that and not to allow Speaker to do this. Because today we may have a Speaker that we may think will be unbiased. If we allow this to stand, it will become precedent, and tomorrow it may hurt each of us. And it is on that basis that I stand to say, Mr. Speaker, I want to come properly under Order 93.5 to say this is your decision to refer our colleagues to the privileges will be challenged with a substantive motion.
So that's the Minority Whip, Mutaka Mubarak, in Parliament there. I'll be taking you to the Supreme Court shortly also because a number of issues were raised by the Speaker. So the Speaker essentially says a member who absents himself or herself for 16 days of Parliament in a particular meeting stands to more like be absent and may probably lose their seats, among others. And this issue has divided both the majority and the minority on this, and with both sides raising issues with what the Speaker's ruling has been. Let's go back to Parliament. Kwesi Parker-Wilson now joins us on the line. We'll be hearing from the Majority Leader also on this particular issue. But Parker, how did this issue come up in Parliament today?
Emefa, the Speaker, per the Standing Order 12, has the right to give formal communication to members of Parliament. And so this morning when he assumed the seat, he started delivering his formal communication and raised concerns about MPs absenteeism. Now, according to him, a search by the table office are the ones who actually keep records in the House and keep the attendance of MPs as well. Now, it has established that a lot of MPs do not come into the chamber. And so for him, he proceeded to indicate that there were other petitions to him where the petitions have indicated that some MPs have absented themselves for more than 15 seconds. And this is clear in the order 15 and 16 and then 17 as well. And so based on that, he's relying and referring the conduct of these MPs to the Privileges Committee. When the committee makes their recommendation, then the House will take a decision on the matter.
Well, let's go live to Parliament for excerpts of that proceedings as it goes on.
Is it right, after recovery, such a member, because he just absent without the permission of the Speaker in writing, he should have considered as having what? Vacated his seat? Is that what the law is meant to do? Please. The other areas we are talking about, I said, are proposals. And I expect the committee, in trying to assist the House to come out with a clear procedure to adopt, will include these things in the report. And that is why I am of the view, and I said humbly, that the matter be submitted to the House, and the House will take a decision. The decision is not only talking about the vacation of the seat, but the procedure to adopt, because that is not clear, as admitted and stated by the Court of Appeal itself. It's not clear in the Constitution and outstanding orders. Honourable members, the standing orders is meant to fill in the gaps and iron out the details of procedure. Even in the standing orders, it says where a matter is not covered, the Speaker, by order 7, I believe, can fill in the gap. Even in the standing orders. Even in the Constitution, we have the residual power. Where matters are not handled by the Constitution, order 5. Yes, order 5 of our standing orders. Give the Speaker the opportunity to fill in the gap. By the Constitution itself, there are residual powers of Parliament where we can fill in the gap. But I want us to do that together, not to be dictated to by the Speaker or by a committee of Parliament, but by the whole House. That is a proposal. But more importantly, this is communication, formal communication from the Speaker, which will be taken into consideration by the committee and submitted to the House. Please, honourable members, let's take this unique opportunity, clarify these matters, and make sure we set a precedent worthy of emulation. I have read what happens in other parliaments. I only quoted the India one, but there are other parliaments. I've read them. I've been guided. I've done consultation before I came out with this statement.
So live proceedings from Parliament there. The Speaker has since ruled that 3 members, MPP members of Parliament, Sarah Joasafo, Kennedy Ohini Ejapong, and of course, Ayauta Central MP and Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Korte be referred to the Privileges Committee. That sparked a lot of debate between the Speaker and the minority side. We've been hearing from the Minority Chief Whip Mutaka Mubarak, who has served notice of challenging the ruling of the Speaker, amongst others. Well, this issue also came up in that interview. My colleague Evans Ben Sahat with the Majority Leader. Listen.
She requested from the Speaker to be given 4 more weeks to be absent. The 4 weeks, I guess, is ending Friday.
Was that approved? Was that granted?
It wasn't granted. The Speaker told me that he had not granted that. My own information was that even last Tuesday, the Speaker was going to make a pronouncement on it in the House. I think the circumstances prevented him from so doing. I want to believe that perhaps before the House adjourns, tomorrow or maybe next week when the House sets, the Speaker may make the announcement by referring her conduct to the Privileges Committee before we adjourn. Really, one would say that push in this case has come to shove. And where push comes to shove, some decision, some determination has to be made.
That's the Majority Leader, Osechi Mensah Bonsude, in that interview with Evans Mensah. There's more of that on myjoyonline.com. We're bringing you more also as we keep our eyes on Parliament. But let's head to the Supreme Court now, because the Apex Court is this afternoon being urged to restrain Asin North MP James Jachikwason from performing parliamentary duties. Attorney General Godfrey Yeboadame told the court his continuous stay in Parliament is a breach of Ghana's Constitution. Mr. Kweson's election as MP was set aside by Cape Coast High Court in July 2021. The individual who initiated that action against the legislator warns him stopped from showing up in Parliament. Court correspondent, as always, Joseph Akable, is there for us. He joins us on the line with details. First, Joseph, let's talk about this injunction application.
So this application was filed by lawyers for Michael Amkoma Nimfa, the one who initiated this action as far back as July 2021 and got that Cape Coast High Court judgment. Now, he's represented in court by Frank Davis, and his argument is that as it stands, there is a judgment against the MP. The judgment indicates that he cannot hold himself out as MP. He argues that as of today, there's no pending process that stops the enforcement of that judgment. And so that is the basis for this request, that by failure to enforce that particular judgment, it will mean that an unconstitutionality is being allowed to fester, in that an individual who has been deemed not to have been eligible to contest an election is still in Parliament and carrying out parliamentary duties. And so that is the basis for this request, that he should be injuncted.
So did the court grant that?
The court has actually slated April 13, that is next week, to deliver its ruling on that matter. But it also heard from the Attorney General, Godfrey Yeboadame, who took a similar position to that of Mr. Frank Davis. And his argument is that the evidence on the face of the court record is quite clear that the MP and the individual is not eligible to contest, in that at the time of filing to contest the post, he owed allegiance to another country other than Ghana. And so he is urging the court to restrain him. But lawyers for the MP, led by Chachi Chikata, they raised an initial objection, saying that the injunction application was procedurally improper, in that the Supreme Court rules does not allow such an application to be filed. And so we urge the court not to grant that request.
That's a court correspondent, Joseph Akable. You're still listening to the Midday News. It's on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra. In Kumasi, it's live on Love 99.5 FM. We're also live on other affiliates across the country, 30 of them also live on Facebook and myjoyonline.com. Now, shocked and disappointed. That's the reaction of the Association of Printers and Paper Converters as it emerges that Ghana imported some $22 million worth of postage stamps from Malta in 2020. This is despite an ailing industry of print and paper conversion, which is nearly bringing local production to its knees. The Observatory of Economic Complexity lists Ghana as one of the latest importer of the commodity from Malta. My colleague Manuel Kranting joins me in studio with more details on this particular issue. Manuel, just for the sake of clarity, what are these postage stamps we're talking about?
So Emefa, a postage stamp is a small piece of paper issued by a post office, a postal administration, or other authorized vendors to customers who pay postage. That is the cost involved in moving, insuring, or registering mail, who then affix the stamp to the face or address side of any item or mail, an envelope, or other postal cover.
Okay, so what exactly does the OEC report on Ghana's import of the postage stamps?
So the OEC says that in 2020, Malta exported $267 million in postage stamps, making it the third largest exporter of postage stamps in the world. At the same year, it was the fourth most exported product in Malta. Now, the main destination of the stamps from Malta were Philippines, which imported $62.7 million. Sudan imported $36.6 million. Ethiopia, $25.6 million, and Ghana $22 million. And we are told that this constituted a total of 8.2% of all the exports of the postage stamps in the year 2020 from Malta.
Well, I mean, trying to get some answers from the Ghana Post, right, Manuel? What are we picking up?
Indeed, we're told that the Ghana Post did not indeed order the importation of all of these products. We are told of some semblance of importation of postage stamps, but in the year under contention, it actually was not from Malta. And so right now the question is, if Ghana Post did not import these postage stamps, then who did?
Okay. Well, the Association of Printers and Paper Converters say it is disappointed by the situation, insisting that the country has blown an opportunity to invest in the local industry to create jobs. James Apia Bekon is president of the association.
That quantum of stamps to be printed at that amount outside Ghana is very disappointing, I think.
That's James Apia Beko there, still working the lines to see if we can speak to the Ghana Post. But of course, we've been bringing you some reactions from the Ghana Post on this particular development. We'll take a quick break here on the Midday News. Our top story so far: process is underway to declare Dom Kwabenya seat, Asin Central and Ayawaso Central seats vacant following the continuous absence of these MPs, Sarah Joasafo, Henry Quarty and Kennedy Ejipon. We brought you some live excerpts from Parliament and also heated debate at the Supreme Court over whether Asin North MP James Jachekwesin should be stopped from performing parliamentary duties. When we return, we have sport, and in today's Living Standard series, youth in Brekuso abandon farming for the Okada business and petty trading to survive harsh economic conditions.
Odi crabble 20 cities. Into people of Krana, Aqualana, and Midday. Midis Canation. Me opening the Mendy Crown, be him semi.
This bulletin is live in the Volta region on Jubilee Radio Keta, Volta Premier and Kekali Radio in Ho, Lolonyo FM in Hohoi, Pando FM in Pando, Fafa Radio in Joje, Radio Hogba in Angloga, Klenam Radio Bato, Victory FM Apawu. In the Eastern region, we're on K Poly Radio in Kofrodia. In the Northern region, we're on Bishara Radio, Radio 123 and Radio Justice in Tamale. And in Savannah region, we're on Inkelege FM in Bole. In the Upper East region, we're live on A1 Radio and Dreams FM in Bogatanga and Radio Fumbese in Fumbese. In Upper West, we're live on Radio Sonmale in Wa, Radio Freed in Nandom, Radio Wa in Wa, and Bolu FM in Bolu. In the Bono East region, we're on Gaskia FM in Techiman. In Bono region, we're on Sky FM and Parrots FM in Sunyai. Central region, we're live on ATL FM in Cape Coast. And in the Western region, we're on Radio Max in Takrady.
Thanks for choosing us. Here is the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. Muftau has the latest from the world of sports.
And Emefa, yesterday, the Speaker of Parliament stoked controversy when he said that FIFA is unhappy that former GFA President Kwesi Nyantakyi has been banned. Well, there's a reaction from the GFA Ethics Committee. A member of the committee, Linda Oforukofo, she says she's quite surprised to hear that FIFA, which decided to ban Kwesi Nyantakyi themselves, say that they're unhappy.
He is the leader or the head of Parliament. And the fact that Parliament plays a very important role or has an important role in the fight against corruption. They actually start everything. They have the right to pass legislation, and it's this legislation that will try to control or sanction or deal with the problem of corruption. I'm sure many Ghanaians are equally confused in their minds exactly what it means. And I don't know which of the FIFA he's talking about. Is it the same FIFA that conducted further investigations after analysis documentary and then said sanctioned Mr. Nyantakyi and asked him to step aside, or which of the FIFA is he talking about? I'm confused as well. We're talking about corruption in football, and he's here talking about how a leader was good and would have actually done better for us, and we should compare ourselves to what the Senegalese lady is doing. No. The leader of the Speaker of Parliament, who is responsible for passing legislation to deal with corruption, cannot be talking this way. I'm confused.
She's confused. Emefa, are you confused too?
No, I'm very clear in my mind. Thank you very much, Muftau, for the latest from the world of sports. Now, hundreds of parents and guardians are still frustrated and struggling to find schools for the awards. A week after the placement center was opened, education officials have set up a computerized system which places students in schools to cut out corruption associated with the manual system of placement. But that has also resulted in chaos at some instances, with many parents frustrated.
What's the issue about? My daughter hasn't got a school, so I'm coming for school for her. I'm looking for school. So of the 6 schools, she was not given any of them. I mean,
Well, Michael Papani Ashale has been monitoring proceedings there. He joins us live. Papani, first off, tell us what the situation is where you are.
Yeah, so hundreds of people keep pouring in by the hour Since morning I've been here, and a lot of them have been coming here. The issues are quite simple. What they've been telling me, some of them come here with no placement, that is their wards out of the 6 schools they chose, they didn't get a school at all. And then some of them also are here to change the status, either from day to board. It means that they like the school, they just want to change the status in which they are. Some others are also here to just change from a regular senior high school to a technical vocational institution. So those are some of the issues that they brought here.
That's my colleague Michael Papani Ashali. Time for our Living Standard series, and youth in Brekusu have left their farms to venture into the Okada business and petty trading to make ends meet. Elizabeth Sechi, a housewife, set up a convenience shop to cater for her 4 children, but business is currently crumbling due to high prices and low patronage. There's more in this Living Standard series.
Odi crabble 20 cities. Into people are prana, Aqualana, and Midday. Midis Canation. Me opening the many do crown will be in the
When you plan ahead, you say tomorrow I will bring the money, tomorrow you won't come.
And a family GIG Gary Sokins. And milk out to the Gary Sokins. How much also sound to the Gary Sokins.
3 years ago, Elizabeth Sechi established a convenience shop with 1,000 cedis to provide extra money for her home. Farming business in Brekusu, a town in the Kwapim South district, has declined in recent years.
Life
is not easy at Brekusu. There are no jobs. Even when you trade, no one buys.
The shop helped Elizabeth put food on her family's table. But in the face of economic challenges, there's been a drop in patronage. Shelves in her shop are almost empty because her capital cannot buy more goods.
My business is failing. My capital keeps dwindling. It is hard to explain how.
These days, she hardly goes to Accra to stock up. A chore she used to do every other weekend, but prices have risen steeply.
Goods have become so expensive. I'm unable to buy enough to stock up. When you do too, customers are always complaining that they can't afford it.
And that's our Living Standard series there, put together by Mami Esinyamiche Thompson. Let me take you to the Ashanti region now. And mother of missing Lands Commission staffer has made an emotional appeal for Ghanaians to assist find her daughter. She was in court today to face for the first time his son-in-law, who is believed to be behind this particular case. Ohiming Terrier of our security desk was in court today, joins us on the line with details. Bring us up to speed on proceedings in court today, Ohiming.
Yes, Emefa, today, Dr. Wilberforce Agri was in court, as well as the third accused person, Justice Apia, who has been accused for selling the mobile phone of the missing Rodalyn Amadakon. Today, the state attorney told the court that for the state, they are ready to push the case for trial, but the counsel for the accused person said an important document that could be used for the case management conference, they had just been served with a document, and that they need time to study the document. So the court asked that the case adjourn to 12th of this month to allow all the people involved to study the document.
We can now hear from the mother.
I want to appreciate every Ghanaian that is making efforts for us to find Rhoda, wherever she is. And I know and I believe that the good Lord will help us to find and locate where Rodalyn is. My plea to all Ghanaians is that if anybody knows the whereabouts of Rodalyn, they should not hesitate to inform the police.
Cecilia Obiniwa Apia, the mother of Rodalyn Amwa Dako, she believes the daughter is still alive. That's how we wrap up today's edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Of course, we have all the way entertainment, business, sport, and that brings us to Showbiz News Flash. with Kojo Hayford. After that, we have Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil. I am Emefa. Apawu. Kofi Hayford has Showbiz News Flash.
In the wake of Black Sheriff's trendy single Kweku the Traveler, some fans have resorted to comparing the rapper with dancehall king Shatta Wale. However, Shatta isn't happy with the development, noting that such unhealthy comparisons undermine artists' impact over the years. He added that fans should allow Blacko to grow. Host of Showbiz A to Z, George Quay, has asserted that the ruling government has performed well regardless of the challenges they've been faced with. He referenced how the tourism ministry made relief funds available for the creative arts industry, stressing that the government